Okay. Basically, this part topic 2, part 1 of the acquiring applications and software infrastructure in transportation organization. Okay. So there are various approaches to obtaining or purchasing information system. Whether you can buy the system, the software, or maybe you can lease the software, or you can from scratch, or in other words, they call it in-house development. Okay. Okay. So let us understand first what is acquisition is about. Okay? Acquisition is a process of acquiring an information system. We talk where talk about hardware, right? So in other words, we call it information system, involve more than just obtaining and installing the software. It involves incorporating the software into the current technological infrastructure and integrate the software into the data and procedures in which people use to make things happen in an organization. Right? In other words, besides of buying or purchasing, the proper word that we use is actually acquisition, acquiring system in an organization. So there are 5 steps of acquisitions, right? The first one is what we call it business identification, in which understanding the enabler, which is the enabler, understanding the business goals, the needs of the information that need to be developed, the system required in terms of the functionalities, what are the problem that you want to solve. Okay, also identify the investment, okay, projects. Okay, so that is the which is what we call it the first step, is the project identification. The second part is actually the IT architecture, right? Developing the infrastructure of it. Okay, so in this case, what are the things that inside the IT architecture is information, data, applications, the technical, the organizations, and the feasibility, the ability of it. Okay, and this thing, when we talk about developing the architecture, it is actually varies from time to time. Sometimes demand is changing from the perspective of the customer because of the new ruling, because the ecosystem is changed, right? So that's why the here we call it a feasibility. Okay, it is the architecture is feasible or not. We move to the next step. Okay, so the third step is development. You provide the architecture. Okay? The next step is the development. So in this case, it involves several acquisition, okay, which in which whether it's built from scratch, whether you buy or you lease, or you do some partnership, right? Or maybe join an exchange marketplace, right? So this is how people do the purchase of the, right? And it also involves in this process, it involve business partners. Maybe when with regard to, when you talk about transportation and logistics, develop system, it might involve some other partners like the authority, maybe custom, maybe yeah, shippers, shipping operators, so on and so forth. Those are the business partners. Maybe from the perspective of financial, the bankers. All right. Okay. So after you develop this one, the next step is actually to test, is to install, test, and integrate. Okay. So the system that you develop, for example, that you develop inventory system, to is maybe the development phase is actually uh, in the in the development phase ni, normally you not do the integration yet. Okay, you just develop by module, right? Module for financial, module for HR, module for inventory, module for production. Okay, so when it comes to the um, uh, installation and integration, so you combine all this module into one particular and you install inside the organization. Okay, so it involves after you install, of course, you need to do the testing. That system is robust to meet the customer numbers of customer that use the system, on and so forth. And last part is the operation itself. Do the system need to be updated from time to time. Some business, they are very rigorous, maybe 1 year, 2 years, version of system has come into the picture. You have to develop the versions of the system, right? So this is 5 of the process of acquisition. Okay, we start process of buying software or hardware in organization. Okay, it involves in when we talk about from the perspective of the hardware and software, the large business firms or government agencies, they formalize their requirement, right, by using the RFP, request for proposal, request for quotation. So those are the things. Okay, you might experience understanding the RFQ maybe inside your class, inside your operation management, or maybe inside um, your strategic class, purchasing, those things. You understand what is actually the RFQ is about. So basically, most of the large business, they come out with their requirements of their system is using the document, which is the RFQ and quotation, and they will submit their demand, their requirement for the vendor. Then they will create the purchase agreement. Okay, so no matter a software solution, you need a software solution that can run efficiently. And how can you go about of choosing the right software for needs? Okay, let us look from the perspective of buying the software. Buying, because there are 3 options of acquisition there, in which I mentioned earlier: the buying, the leasing, and also the in-house development, or you build from scratch. The first, let us have a look in terms of the buying perspective, right? So buying perspective, basically, in the focus in terms of buying software is to make sure that you are buying a right software that meets your requirement. Okay, so here, buying software kit is successful, right? These are the checklists. First one, you need to identify the key challenge to solve. Get back to your team. You need to really understand what are the things that you want to solve. Same like your business, same like your projects. If you want to think further, what kind of business ideas that can solve people problem. Okay, identify the key challenges of the problem. Okay, ask your team or ask your stakeholders to share the biggest challenge that they have faced. Okay, so you have to reach out the network on how other people solve their problems, solve the similar problems, right? The second one, figure out your software requirements. So in this case, you need to have a team or maybe understanding on the software weaknesses and the software requirements, right? Decide which features, integrations that you need, numbers of users, the price, and also the plans for growth before you talk to the vendor. You need to discuss first with the team, right? How many users if you want to buy the system, the software, how many users that you want people to be involved inside the particular, right? So that determines the costing that that you going to invest in terms of buying software. Research and talk to the vendors, and of course do the selections of the best choice and operate the software. Those are the list on in terms of buying the software. And of course, sometimes we make a wrong decision in the organization. And what is actually happen is eventually the system that we think of, that we dream of becoming a white elephant. That are the things that I want to, especially if you are developing startup, you're doing something that becoming white elephant. Okay, just for the sake of your boss, to satisfy your boss. Okay, at the end of it, the system is white elephant. No one want to use the system. What is actually the purpose of developing or to buy that particular system, right? So here, the advantages, the buy option, and also the disadvantages of the buy option. Okay. Sorry, anak saya buka buku kuat sangat. Nazif. Slow sikit suara. Okay. So what is the of the chef software available, right? Like accounting software, inventory software, transportation, truck GPS system, right? How to manage the passengers. Those software, there are actually many types of software exist in the market. Off the shelf, they call it off the shelf. That is already exists. You just buy the software. Okay. Much time can be saved. You don't need to develop, just buy, then straightly use, right? The company can know what is getting before you invest in the software. Okay, you can read first. Read the specification. What are the things that you want to do? Software. Imagine that one day there is a system like the system provider like Shopee and Lazada. In Lazada, you buy a products, a goods. Okay, you buy a goods and products from Lazada. You can buy your shoes, your whatever lah. 1,000 million of things you can buy, but in one day you can buy a system like that. Okay, it will provide you a list numbers of systems. Okay, it's like your Google Apps lah, Google Store kan, Google your Apple Store ke, your Play Store. You can buy many apps there, but maybe there a platform that provide system. You can buy any system, just name it. Okay, just buy. You can integrate into your system inside your server, whatever. Then you can just use straight away. So there's no need for you to think about developing it from scratch. Kan? Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, software may avoid the need to have personal specific dedicated to a project. The vendor updates the software frequently, and the price usually much lower. Okay. Normally, when we buy straight away the software from off the price is lower actually. Okay, if you compare to others, if you would develop in-house, the price of buying the software, well, it's like you buying a shirt from apa nama ni, a shirt or tire kan, clothes from Lazada. The price may be like very 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 minimal, all right. But if you I give example like Hari Raya lah, during Hari Raya celebration day kan, if you buy from a Shopee or Lazada, you buy shirt cheaper. But if you ask you buy the apa the material, the kain, okay, and then you send to apa for sewing, untuk jahit, cost might be higher actually, kan? Because you want the design, you want your design more specific. Cost of uh, developing it in-house, right? We call it in-house. It's higher than buying straight away from the. Okay, that is actually a common thing. You buy from buying from the off the shelf is cheaper than you buying you develop in-house. Okay, advantages of buying, but then we need also to have a look in terms of the disadvantages of the buy option. Okay, software may not exactly meet the company needs. This is what I already mentioned inside the first statement here, right? Finally, the system we dream of becoming. Finally, the system we dream of becoming a white elephant. The system that we dream of becoming a white. Okay. When you buy something, sometimes the system not meet the demand or requirement of the organizations or maybe the team. Okay, that's why it end up as white elephant, not being used, less used, so on and so forth. Right? The system may be difficult or impossible to move. Has limited features, limited functions. Only you got what you buy, you got what you buy. That's the statement. You got what you buy only, right? And the company will not have control over software improvement and new version. You don't have any. See, you want to improve here, you want to improve there. Only the specifications is very limited for you to have more control on the software. The purchase of software can be difficult to integrate with the existing system. It might end up sometimes the software that you buy, you cannot link to your current system. They integrate, right? And the last but not least, vendors may drop product, go out business. This is the common things happen. When you buy something, business is dropped or business is out of market, you cannot refer anymore. So what happen is the system will know the caretaker, and you have a very big problem. You're going to face a very big problem. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to stop my presentation up until I think it's already 11:30. Some of you guys have go to class, right? I'm going to continue my lecture internet class. All right. So for this coming Monday, we first with the presentation. Okay, those presentation you're going to proceed your presentation on this coming Monday. My lecture will be continue next Thursday. All right, guys. So you can go to the next class anymore. I don't have any other things. Those who are not yet do the scanning, you can do now, scanning now. And then see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome, bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dokter.
Thank you. Siapa nak scan sekarang? Semua dah habis ke? Dah scan so I stop ya?